Guys, tonight is something I'm excited to be a part of. But we're kind of going down a path that there's a lot about. I think where all of us have been, where we're Christ followers, and as Christ followers, we're always trying to find out where He's leading. And for me, I had experienced something that was pretty monumental on my journey. So that's kind of what I want to share with you guys tonight. My journey started back October of last year, and when I made the decision to follow Christ, I threw myself into community, and I was a part of the men's group. I was attending encounters, which any event that I could put myself into, I was doing. And it wasn't I think maybe in January that Woody came to me and asked me to go to Nepal with a group of guys, and I was excited. Clearly, God was revealing Himself to me here at these men's groups, and I was excited to be a part of something that I felt that was going to kind of just take this thing to a whole new level. So expectations were extremely high. One of the things, though, that we were doing as a group is we were getting together, months, prior to going, and as we would meet, we would get together and talk about things in our life and what we were praying for. And it was interesting because during this time I was spending a lot of time really praying for the guys in my group, but I was still kind of feeling like these expectations of Nepal and what I was going to experience were just going to be transcended from what was going on through all the activities that I was involved with at church. So I kind of was gauging my success with God based on all these things that I was doing. So I was a part of community, like you guys come here on a Monday night, and I was leaving these groups and really just excited about where God had me, and thinking when I got to Nepal it was just gonna be this whole new experience. So I tell you this because when I got to Nepal, it was just completely different than I had ever imagined. I mean, I don't know if it started on the plane ride over or when we touched down in Nepal, but I mean, I absolutely was disconnected from God. This is early on for me, so I've experienced watching some other guys talk about what that looks like, but for me it was confusing. Like I didn't understand why. And what I did know was the guys that had told me that had gone through dry periods in their life, they really just decided to take that time to really see what God was teaching them. And in that experience, I want to tell you that I had these huge expectations of God doing these things when I got to Nepal. I mean, I'm going clear across the globe. The idea is that He's going to just do these things for me. And as I'm sitting there, and one of the things that we did as a group is we prayed together constantly. And if you've ever been disconnected, maybe at these tables, maybe there's times when you're praying and you just kind of feel like the prayers aren't really real, like you're just kind of faking your way through it. I mean, that's how I felt. I mean, I was just waiting for one of the guys to be like, "All right, Joe, stop. We need to understand why you're here." And I really kind of. I think I've told most of the guys, but some of the guys may not even realize where I was at, and I should have shared that stuff, but I think a part of me was just really confused. So the reason I wanted to talk about that is because there was something that a lesson that I needed to learn as a Christ follower, and what that was is that I had not put my dependency on God in that trip. I didn't seek Him out in that trip. Now, I said before I was praying for these other guys, and you guys might be here and you find yourself praying for these guys, but when do you look at your own life and ask yourself, God, what are you going to do inside of me? And there was a lot of things going on all around me that I could see Him working, but He wanted me to move to a place with Him, and in order for me to see where He was going, I needed to ask Him to lead. And leading up to Nepal, I really think that I missed that opportunity. So I share that with you because, as I got back from Nepal, I really took that lesson to heart and really wanted to start putting my dependency on God in all areas of my life. And, one of the major areas that, I found it to be true was in some relationships. I think, we can all relate to struggles with certain, maybe girlfriends or wives or parents. My struggles came in with my mother. I had some things there that, I felt like, before, I left from DePaul, I looked at it in a different way. I felt like, my responsibility in that relationship was to, move to a certain direction. And really what I was doing was I was really getting in the way of God. And I wasn't stepping out of the way for Him to do things. And as I got back from this trip, I started seeking Him out in these areas of my life. And that one specifically, I remember with my mom, I was going through a real difficult time with her, and we were arguing, and I left. And one of the things that I do when I get frustrated is I just go. And I got in the car, and I was on my way to the gym, and I knew going the whole way down there this wasn't where Jesus was going. If I'm really going to put my dependency on Him, I need to stop and I need to go where He's going. And I put the brakes on in my car, and I just had a moment there with Him, and I just said, Lord, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop running. Stop running from where You're going, because as a follower, we need to know that Christ is there to take us to these places that we're afraid to go to. And as I turned that car back around, I went inside, and I really just I opened up to my mom, and it blew me away to see where God wanted to take it. And I've seen a lot of different experiences that have come from just that moment in my relationship with my mom, and I could go on forever telling you all the wonderful things that Christ has done for me when I put my dependency on Him. But probably most of all, I've seen it here with you guys. I mean, being a part of this group, and to come in and to see you guys, and to see you eager, but wanting to have us all come together to move closer to God. I think what we recognized, and a few of us decided to start doing, was to meet out here and pray in the parking lot. Just something simply as stepping outside before this group starts and praying that we go where Jesus is going. He is the one who is ultimately going to take us to the places that we're wanting to go, or maybe we're even fearful of going to. And if we're not seeking Him out, I don't think we're asking Him to show us. So a big part of our lesson from that was just saying, you know what, if we're going to come in here and we're going to speak, with the guys at the tables, is just to ask the Lord to guide the conversations, to guide the table talk, to go where He's going. And I don't know for the other guys that have been out there, but for me it's been amazing. It's been an experience like no other to watch the Holy Spirit work. So the idea was to kind of just touch on that dependency. But I had a verse that I went to when I got back from Nepal, and it really kind of hit home for me. It's in Jeremiah 29. It says, Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will